I had a day from hell at work. Everything that could possibly go wrong in a day back there happened. The good thing is that I did everything according to routine, followed the rules like usual, like not altering plans or anything. So whatever happened should reflect or wash away on its own. So that's the relieving part, knowing that I did everything according to plan and routine. In addition, I forgot my sunglasses at home, so my eyes are on fire. I'm trying to not even think about it. That's what I'm talking about. Get that exercise. I will attempt to have a special guest vlog with me. What do you think school should teach? I know we've talked about this before. Now that you're old, what would have been useful to know? Anything that you urge schools to implement to their course of study that's actually useful? Definitely how to file your taxes.
I think home ec should come back.
Definitely. I suck at everything home related.
Reasoning, because if you cook, and that's less money you got to give to corporations. They don't care if you eat healthy.
Exactly, and it keeps you healthier too.
You save money too. On thread, you know, you ain't got to go to anybody to somebody to get your clothes sewed up, whatever. You do it yourself. All you got to do is buy the fabric and needle.
Yeah, Mom has talked to me about how much she learned from that.
Good shop class. They need that back. Accounting would be nice. Something about finances.
Definitely, like how to take a loan, because
Yeah.
some of them you need, like, is it a collateral that they call it? It's not like you can just walk into a bank and be like, let me borrow so much and so forth. You actually need to meet some requirements.
We need practical education, maybe a class on banking, yeah, so people understand credit and loans and things of that nature.
Definitely the importance of waiting until you're actually ready to have kids. And by ready to have kids, I mean you understand what it means financially, mentally, physically, because kids are expensive. You don't think about it, but they are. You just think about how cute other people's kids are, but you don't think about what it actually means to have a child.
Economics, you know, there used to be courses on economics. I don't know if they still are, but just understanding consumerism and capitalism and all that.
See, they do teach economics, but it's just like the overview of it. Like, what I remember about my civics and economics class was when we got to the economy aspect of it, it was like we are a capitalist country, and then there's socialist and communism, and they've made communism seem bad, but for me, communism is not that bad in the sense that it doesn't make it obvious that there's a difference in classes, you know? It's not a completely bad thing, but at the same time, I understand that you're less likely to be involved in certain careers because the reward may not be that much.
Yeah.
I know that I wouldn't go to medical school and, you know, bust my brain to not make a whole lot. For me, the fact that everybody's mostly equal economically, it's cool, even though they make it seem like it's impossible to be creative. Capitalism, the mentality of competition makes good things come up and whatnot, survival of the fittest in like business world, but I don't know.
Where's that? But I think what people lack is the skills. Just skills in general. So I think maybe grade school should be more like trade school. You know, you find what you're interested in. We focus on that. You'll plus get the rudimentary education. You know, your science, math, and history, and such. You'll get all that plus these trade schools. If you want a higher version of education than that, then you go to college. But you'll walk out of high school, you have skills. You know, you can handle a blowtorch. You can soldering iron. You know how to use one of those. You know, you can fix your own phone if you got problems with it. So.
I know, right? They've made it to where you don't know a lot of skills because you have to rely on someone and drop money to someone to get something.
And they make those skills, you have to pay for to get that kind of education. You pay for grade school with your taxes, of course, but still, well, now you can go on social media. YouTube can teach you how to do that, but still, you walk out of high school, you don't know any of that. You're walking into college, and you need money. So your first job, instead of you working for yourself, you got to work for a corporation. And And then say you get comfortable there, and say you go into a field of study that doesn't have a high return on work or anything, get stuck at this job, you know what I'm saying, working for this corporation. Instead of you coming out of high school knowing how to do something, or a trade or a skilled job, you can make money as a contractor or something like that for yourself. American education teaches you to be like
Dependent.
right, dependent and it's under subjugation of a corporation. Doesn't really teach you anything. I think that that's the parents' job for sure.
Yeah, I remember how satisfied I used to feel anytime I would take a class that was actually hands-on. Like my computer apps class, I would have loved to spend another extra semester in school just so I could take computer apps too, because a lot of the skills that I do not really know deep about computers, that class would have taught me. But I just ran out of time because they had the courses that you need to take so that you can have your credits to graduate. That was lame. That should have been a course that you need those 2 credits to graduate, given how computerized so much is this day and age.
See, I don't know much about private schools and things like that. They may teach stuff like this, but it's not open to the public because the general public can't pay for private schools. And
Private school privilege.
so it's like those kids who have wealth, already have financial legacies, have those kinds of opportunities. But that's why I say it goes back to the parents. I'm like, man, if you want your child to be mediocre, then don't teach them anything. Don't tell them anything. You know, teach them how to do everything wrong in the world. Show them a bad example. But if you want your children to be great, then show them a good example. Tell them the stuff that was never taught to you. Tell them the stuff that was taught to you. Teach them about the real world, you know, while they're young. Yeah, we can have fun because you're a child, but yet this is what you're going to be growing into, so you can be better prepared for it. Because when you get an adult, you can't play.
I also think there should be classes on how to start your own business.
Yeah.
Because, okay, school gives you a general idea, but it really doesn't dissect it. So you just have to figure it out either from experience or consulting someone, or you get to work for a company where you get to see those kinds of details, the in-depth.
Yeah, like, I mean, you can even appeal to a child's interests, man. Like, you know, say they're in anime or cartoons or whatever, or sports. Teach them the behind the scenes stuff that goes on, the stuff that actually makes it happen. You know, get them interested in animation, illustration, camera work, screenwriting, all that stuff, you know, that builds the show. Fashion, whatever that is. Get them involved in that. The makeup part of it. It makes the finished product happen.
It's important to learn about health, fitness, and, ooh, you're right. Like, say, with the situations that we've had with the police, teach what your rights are when you get pulled over.
Political science also should be mandatory.
Definitely.
So people could be well educated before they make a vote.
See, that's one of those courses that's actually an elective. And I know that back then, given my mentality, I was not thinking about that. But now that I'm older, I wish I would have. Had I known that I would have had the interest now, like in the future, then I would have definitely done it. Not only the interest, but how important it is to not be ignorant.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think Israel does a good thing of making all their people go to military. I think it helps with discipline, especially in younger people, because people need discipline, man. You know, people are not born with discipline. You have to be taught discipline. You have to know when to start something and when to stop something. Just because it feels good to you don't mean you need to do it every day, every time when you get impulses. That will help in every facet of your life. Controlling how to eat, knowing how to read, studying. Discipline will help you in all those areas.
I just thought of something weird. You know how when you're a kid, you tend to know your family because your parents are taking you to like functions and whatnot. They should teach you about the fact that the people who you know when you're a kid, they won't be there forever. I would have loved to know that the way that I see the world during those years is not how it's going to look like years down the line. Like, I was just unaware of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think things like that, though, because it's like, that's a personal emotion. And I think, like, you're the only one that knows how to manage that. I think you can give, like, somebody a general idea. that's going to be personally the individual's part.
In my psychology class, I remember reading about the different stages of the human. Like, you're an infant, you're a toddler, then you're a kid, adolescent, young adult, older adult, and then old age. And I like how I was able to read that because I loved reading textbooks, but it's not like we went over those chapters in class. It would have been nice for them to do that, because I bet you that a lot of people in my class, if not nobody else, read ahead in the book. It would help for them to just sort of brush over it and not really tell you how to handle your life, but at least mention it. The sole fact that you mention it and can anticipate it, I think, does a lot of wonders on its own. You're driving, I just thought about, we should all be encouraged to learn how to fix cars. Normally guys have an idea because you have like your dads or your grandparents taught you a thing or two, but for me, I'm so reliant on Toyota's service because otherwise my car would not run. Yeah, I could probably YouTube how to change oil, but for me it's just, no, I don't feel confident doing it. Actually, I guess I should try it. Maybe it's not as hard as I'm making it seem, but
No, this stuff's easy. I mean, you know, the only hard part is getting new parts in your car, and then knowing what they do is something that you learn through progress. Getting to them may be difficult.
if no heavy lifting is involved, then I should be able to take care of my oil next time.
And then you always want to have the right tools. Sometimes you may not have the right tools either.
Oh, there you go. You need tools.
Yeah. That's why most guys have a toolbox in their car.
See, I have a toolbox, but it's really there for decoration. Like, yeah, guys, I got tools in my trunk because I'm responsible, but my car breaks down, and I'm like, okay. It's like a stove. A stove is useless unless you know how to cook. That's my tools right there. I have the tools, but it doesn't mean that they'll get my car fixed. Or like the gym membership. Yeah, I have a gym membership. That means that I'm gonna lose this fat and this weight and have a bikini body, but it won't happen if you don't actually exercise properly and regularly and diet